Good evening. I'm Cynthia Atkins. I'm here tonight from Rockbridge County, Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains behind me, and I'm reading tonight for Coggin's Wednesday night poetry series. I am so honored to be reading tonight with some special Bellas that are deep and close to my heart, and that would be J.P. Howard and Marissa Glover and Angelique Zovitz, who I've loved for so long, and I'm so glad that we're in this community tonight, which Kai has fostered COVID, pre-COVID. This is the longest running series, open mic series in the USA. So I am so honored to be here tonight. My friend Bridget is devoted to me and we've been doing this 2 nights now. I did want to hold up Kai's beautiful t-shirt, Poet Life, which to me, this is what's so fun about doing these readings, is that I get to show off my mountains and read you a few poems. So without further ado, I think I'll start right in. One of the things I love about this series is the way it's been tracking what's been going on in our world. Right now, things like the U.S. mail are running havoc. And this series is this summer, between George Floyd and Black Lives and all the movements that have been happening, I feel like Wednesday night poetry series has been a beautiful marker of them. So touch your screens, touch Kai, all the beautiful love she spreads. I'm very honored to be here. And I'm reading tonight The Information Age, in memoriam, an uncle of mine from long ago and his wife Adele, who is sick, has been sick, and I read this for both of them in the memory of childhood and the mail, the U.S. mail. The Information Age, in memoriam, Uncle Harold. We embrace the dead through the living. The gloved handshake of pallbearers lifting the casket for a man to pass through a postal route of grass and dug earth. The ground open in anticipation of the body's last insistence. They say families pass their scent from generation to generation. I think I'd know the particular way their kitchen smelled anywhere. How I'd steal those silver-wrapped candies from a silver bowl. Almost a thief, post-hypnotic, making off with the candlesticks. Call it a lust, a quirk, but I am a preterist, which is why I'll miss the mailman, the human factory of hands that delivers not only the envelope, but its body, scent, sense, hair, smudge, thumbprint, like a clover of luck, strung from house to house, to its final resting place. All those hands intervening between, breath fluttering over grass, trousers swishing as if a heart awaking a fluke of knowledge in our dead. One of the things about the George Floyd killing this summer brought up pulled the rug back on all the really the issues that we've been dealing with for hundreds of years, and even more intensely everything that's happened this summer, the statues coming down, all of that. I realized my own white privilege, the privilege that many of us have had in our lifetime. And one of my own pet peeves over the last 40 years is the subject of incarceration. I feel like it's been a second slavery in this country for 40 years, incarcerating people for marijuana, and today how many white men are making gobs and gobs of money off the marijuana trade. So this is a poem about some of those issues, and it's called God is My Alibi. And this is my new book, by the way, Still Life with God. I just out March 11th, the birthday of the world closing down, the day my book came out. God is my alibi. Abide with me, the night shadows, caterwauling on the walls, lava lamp red as the squad car pulling up to the curb. Inside, a fish tank shifts, precarious. Colors dizzy in a kitchen of bodies without form. Pot partying. I made out with my boyfriend as our friend gave his hands to be cuffed into silence. Whispers in the next room. All said and done, Willie sat in jail for an ounce of stale attic mouseweed. We went to college to cavil in a dormitory of freshmen. My smoky boyfriend kissing me prickly as hemp. Now a country soured and stomped down the road, some hungry, some cold, someone shot dead for a joint. Truth be told, only a shade of pale and a lawyer's lunch between us. While my boyfriend edifies me on a study pillow, Willie salves in jail for 4 scorched years. Only a bag of weed and a lawyer's lunch between us. Bodies losing form in trees where prayers are blazed on fire. A car drives slowly through a neighborhood, throwing caution to stoops. Headlines blur, not with ink, but with suffering. Shadows lose form, embalmed to a smoky room as the world thrums into one long conundrum. I am dizzy in a room with many doors and a lava lamp and a boyfriend who takes matters into his own hands. On a study pillow, a different perfume on his navel. Under the radar, the snare drums of the quietest kind of war. Just say no. Poverty's train went to jail with Willie, his mama sobbing on the rail. And where were you the night in question? I was tying my shoes with the scissors, sweeping pine needles under a tree. My boyfriend rolled a fat one and checked out like a dog gone missing about the town to cavil at the moon. A book and a telephone rest on my belly, a shade of pale and a lunch. The newspapers are wrapped in skin and bone. I'm going to read one more poem tonight here in Rockbridge County, Virginia, and just say my thanks again for this beautiful connection of community and poetry, Kai, that you have garnered between us, a warmth and a connection that's gotten us through some pretty tough times, and the salve of poetry, community, and togetherness for Wednesday night poetry has helped me immensely, and I know so many of my friends and cohorts. So I'm going to read one more poem from my new book, Still Life with God. I hope you can enjoy my beautiful, this is House Mountain, the sun going down on House Mountain, and this is my poem, When the Internet is the Loneliest Place on the Planet. Thank you, Bridget. When the Internet is the loneliest place on the planet, blow by blow, we gave up scents and sunsets to hold our heads in a screen and gawk in our sleep. My blind leading your blind to the where the last light is driven to be warehoused. I learned to whisper over graves, to measure the heft of my breath next to the soul that lay in that soil devoid of breath. When push comes to shove, when enough is more than enough, when your face sees itself snatched by the swarm of names, pell-mell, I'm just parched for a whiff of clean laundry, a bed made from the cheapest smoky scents of its last spent residence, clinging to pastures where the lovesick stargazers go. Yesterday, I mourned a friend whom I've never laid eyes on, never heard the bricks in her voice, or saw her mouth, a gaudy brothel of accents, straight out of the Bronx by way of Chicago, my birth town. I was born to know that train whistles record the distance of our loneliness. I drifted to sleep smelling the pepper spray my parents shot at each other in the front seat. It was my own garden on the highway under the Magicus sign, where I could cry all night long in the damp arms of strangers, each car holding that piece of self that looks for others, popping out of a hole like a fox or a wolf, forcing you to see your breath, flick the light switch into the dark classroom in the planetarium of stars. Thank you, Kai. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.